Hey guys, Baltazar Camacho here, top landlord listing agent in Austin. You probably received one of my postcards and I wanted to tell you a little bit about presentation. What I do is I represent absentee owners, which is landlords or people that own a property but they don't live there, right? So people maybe live out of state, have a rental in Austin, or you had a house in a certain area, you moved out, you don't live there anymore. It's not a house that you live in. It's probably not in pristine condition. It probably needs some work, and that is the people I help list and sell properties for. I've been doing this for a long time. In fact, I've been selling absentee-owned landlord homes for about 15 years. I've done a bunch of my own, and I do own rentals as well in South Austin. Actually, currently I have 28 tenants of my own as well. So I know the ins and outs of this business and of selling properties that you don't live in, that maybe are not in the most mint condition. What I do for my clients is I will actually prep the house for sale with my own money. So I will fix up your house with my money to get it ready to sell. And what we want to do is get you 100% of the value of your house instead of you selling it to a discount buyer or a postcard in the mail guy for 60 or 70% of value, because you'd be leaving 20-30% equity on the table, and Austin homes are expensive, so you're talking about several $100,000 left on the table by doing that. So I want you to not do that, okay? So today is a presentation on listing. So how do we present the property so that we get as many offers as possible and we can sell as quickly as possible for the most amount of money as possible? And there's 7 key things we do. And so the first thing we do is we cluster showings. What this means is if you have tenants in the property, or for some reason getting access in and out of the property can be an issue, then what we do is we get all our showings together at the same time. So we will list and we will have offers come in, and we will say, investor A, investor B, and investor C, we're doing a showing at 5 o'clock. This does 2 things. One thing is it makes it to where you only have to tell your tenant, hey, I need you to open the door from 5 to 6 p.m., chain your dog up or whatever you need to do. Instead of calling them every day to do that, you just do it once. And the other thing is when investors go see the property and there's other investors there, it's kind of one of these things where people buy based off feel and they want what they what other people want. It's just a human tendency we all have. So they're going to go in there, they're going to see other investors, and they're going to want the property even more and kind of start bidding against each other. This is part of our presentation. I've done this a lot of times. I've even done it a lot of times with my own properties that I own, that I sold. Okay, so we want to cluster showings to bother tenants less and to get investors competing against each other, buyers competing against each other. Number 2, 90-something% of buyers, even investors, start their search online. So what we're going to do is get the yard cleaned up so that the front pictures look okay. And so it's simple. If there's any rusty garden tools or whatever, I'm going to have a guy come in there and take all that, put it in a U-Haul, dump it out. And if there's bushes that needs to be trimmed, if there's grass that needs to be cut, all that kind of stuff, I'll have my guys, and I'll pay for it, and I'll manage it, and I'll handle it, and I'll have my guys come in there and get that cleaned up so the exterior looks good. Because they're not going to get a lot of access to the interior, because if you have tenants, or even if the house is kind of beat up, you want the outside to look not great, because these are mostly going to be investor buyers or people looking for a fixer-upper. So it doesn't have to look like it's out of HGTV, but you want them to buy based off feelings. So you want them to see it and feel like, oh, this is a good deal, I can make some money. Not to see a picture of a house and feel like, oh, like this is a lot of work, there's stuff all over the yard, there's work I gotta do. So what we do is we just eliminate that for them, right? I pay my guys to get that done. And then number 3 is I handle tenant issues, which again, this is anything. I will get tenant numbers, whether the tenant is your son or your tenant that you've had for 20 years that, for whatever reason has been there. No matter what the tenant issues are, even if, hopefully not, but even if we need to handle some sort of eviction or tenants stop paying and you want to sell the house, I can do that as well. So all tenant issues and tenant communications I will handle, since you're probably out of state or not living at the property. So I can do that, again, respectfully and honestly. I have 28 tenants of my own that are very happy, and so I know how to deal with people. It's not a problem for me, but I will handle that for you. And then that's, again, part of the presentation when we're doing our showings. We just handle tenant issues correctly. If they have a dog, tell them to chain it up, ask them to chain it up, things like that. And then that's it. Number 4, what we want to do that's really important is give investors numbers. So part of our presentation where we're listing this property on the MLS, there's like a paragraph in there that only agents see. Okay, you're not going to see it on Zillow or Redfin, but other agents, when they log into their system, they'll see it. And what we want to put in there is the numbers, which would be, we don't want to give exact rehab fix-up numbers because everybody has their own team that's going to be different. But what we are going to do is say, hey, we've had tenant A has been here for 10 years and she pays $700 and the market rent is $1,500. And I will get those market rents for you so that we can communicate them to the new buyer. Okay. Number 5, in that same section that we share in the MLS with all realtors, you want to use keywords. And what happens is a lot of agents don't know about investing. I've done a lot of flips. I've worked with a lot of investors, so I can speak their language. And so you're going to use words like fixer-upper, needs work, already leased, tenants in place, moneymaker. You guys get the deal, right? And so the investors are going to get those keywords sent to them by agents. So agents are going to see that paragraph that says fixer-upper, investor special, needs a new roof, whatever, right? And cash only, things like that. Whatever it is we decide that we want, we put them in there, and then the agents are going to see it, and even if they don't know it's like a good investor deal, they'll see those words and then they'll call their investors. And so we want all their agents to call their investors so that, again, they can come see it and compete with each other to buy our house so that you can get the most money in the least amount of time. So we use those keywords in that paragraph that it's not going to be viewable on Zillow or Redfin, but it's viewable on the back end with us agents, and the investor clients will see it through us sending it to them. Number 6, super important, be very honest. This is a good thing to always do in life, but there's a benefit here. A lot of people will have a rental that it's had the same tenant for 20 years, and then they will write property in mint condition, ready for next tenant. And the truth is, investors know, because we bought lots of properties, we've sold lots of properties. We know that if a house is 40 years old and it's had the same tenant for 20 years, it needs a lot of work. And so what happens is when people skip things, then investors think, well, what else is he not telling me, right? Maybe there's a pipe broken under the foundation that he's not telling me about. Maybe there's roof damage he's not telling me about. Maybe there's this or that, the other, bad neighbors he's not telling me about, whatever, right? So when investors see that the seller's hiding something, they're more hesitant to make offers and do things like that. So you want to just be upfront. They know everything anyways. They've been in 100 houses. They know that if your house is 40 years old and it's had the same tenant for 20 years, it needs work. And they know that every house needs work, right? This is part of doing this business. So they already know everything. Just be upfront, be honest about the issues, and you'll actually get more money that way because they'll be more trusting. And again, investors, like everybody else, they use their numbers, but they're buying based off feelings, okay? And then number 7, the last thing that's super important. Well, there's a few more things, but these are the 7 key things. Get rid of any smells. And so this goes back to this similar point with the yard. You want people to come in, the buyer for your house to come in and think, oh, this is a good deal. I can come in here and fix it up and I can make some money. You don't want them to come in and think, this needs work, or oh, this smells bad. It gives them kind of negative emotions, and then they don't want to put in offers, even though it may not be a big deal. So again, this is something that I do, that I have an amazing cleaning staff that has been working with me, the same cleaning company I've been working with for 12 years, I believe, and they will handle it, and they will make the house look and smell really good. And you want to have a nice clean house, right? So they can at least walk in and it's clean, they can kind of see what they need to fix, and they don't have any negative emotions when they walk in. Those are 7 things we do for presentation, amongst other things, but again, these are kind of some of the key things, and I wanted you guys to kind of meet me via video. see who you'd be working with if you decide to list with an experienced landlord listing agent. I've been doing this a long time, and I like doing it. I like getting people the most money I can as quickly as possible for them, and I rehab the properties for you guys. I prep them. I get the lawn care in there. I get the cleaning ladies in there, and we get it ready to rock. And that's it, guys. Appreciate you. And if you need anything from me, please reach out to me. Again, Baltazar Camacho, and I am a top listing agent here in Austin. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Reach out if you need anything, if I can be of any help.